Well, let's begin with this conversation on cyber attacks. Cyber attacks are a growing global problem, with cybercrime projected to cost the global economy over $10.5 trillion in 2024, up from $3 trillion just a few years ago. In Nigeria, businesses are particularly vulnerable, facing an average of 2,560 attacks every week. The rising threat has highlighted the urgent need for stronger cybersecurity measures to protect critical infrastructure and maintain economic stability. And experts are calling for the use of AI-driven technologies to predict and prevent cyber threats, address skill gaps in cybersecurity expertise, and enhance collaboration between the public and private sectors. However, as digital reliance increases, safeguarding Nigeria's critical systems from sophisticated cyber threats is more crucial than ever to mitigate the escalating economic risks. Well, joining me to unpack this, I have Isioma Lawal, the head ERM and Resilience Services, CSCS. Thank you, Mrs. Lawal, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. When we talk about cybersecurity, cyber threats or attacks, to some, they do not necessarily grasp the depth and possible devastation that could result from this. So I'd like you to talk to us about the possible ramifications and why this is about national security and even sovereignty sometimes.
Thank you. You agree with me that now cybersecurity is not just the problem of the IT departments in companies. It is everybody's problem right now. The crimes have evolved into sophisticated operations, and they target critical national infrastructures like the energy, the finance, telecommunication, even healthcare. So now these systems, they are the backbone to a country's economic society. Imagine when these attacks happen, how they cripple all the infrastructure. That's why we need to be talking about this. This devastation, these possible vulnerabilities, when exploited, they even weaken the nation's competitive advantage. So yes, it's something that we should all take seriously. The ramification is just very wide.
Absolutely. Talking about that, we're seeing businesses in Nigeria facing an average of 2,560 cyber attacks each week. That's a whole lot. Can you talk to us about, maybe the types of attacks that are most prevalent and how companies can actually effectively prioritize their defenses?
The most common type of attacks are like phishing, where you get fraudulent emails or text messages, trying to steal your personal information. We have ransomware. These are like malware encrypting your data and making you pay money, almost like kidnapping your data, right? Making you demand payment for the release or decrypt your data for you. We have the ones that will just come into your system and, lock it up. This is just the malware. We have things like denial of service. What this does is pretty much to flood your system with too much information, and then you cannot do any other work. We have social engineering that's very close to the phishing, just targeted, it manipulates individuals to try and get information out of them. Right, so these are like the type of attacks that cybersecurity attacks you can have. And then how do companies minimize this or, prioritize their defenses? We expect companies to ensure that they train their staff. Information security, information awareness, you can't overemphasize it because you can put all your security gadgets, it just takes one staff and you're compromised. What companies can also do, ensure that they're employing experienced cybersecurity professionals. They're hiring the right people for the job. And then they can also join forces with the government, collaboration, have places where information can be shared. And when we update ourselves with cyber trends and protective measures, we all just kind of create a better defense to this cyber attacks.
Absolutely. Well, looking at the current cybersecurity architecture of the nation, that's Nigeria, what gaps and opportunities actually do you even see in this space, and how can they be plugged, whether it's the gaps or even the opportunities that are inherent here?
The gaps we see, I think it's our talent. We have shortage of talent, shortage of cybersecurity professionals. Nigeria as a country, between the ages of 15 to 30, these are young, talents. We have over 54% of the population, Imagine tapping into that. What we could, in fact, so that is now an opportunity because we have enough manpower to fix this gap. Another thing we have is like there's limited collaboration between the public and private sector. If we can come together, we'll see maybe stronger legislative frameworks. We can encourage investment in cybersecurity technologies. We can even have things like government funding trainings. The public and private sector can come together and conduct trainings for staff. Yeah, so that's some of the gaps and opportunities in this space.
All right, well, given the increasing reliance on, interconnected systems, we cannot overemphasize the need to sort of balance the benefits of digitalization with the risks of cyber attacks. I'd like to get your thoughts on, this balancing act. There is that interconnectivity, which is good for us. But on the other hand, we also need to protect our systems. What's your take on balancing these two?
To balance these two, you have to be strategic. So, of course, we know the benefits of digitalization from increasing your efficiency, increasing your productivity, enhancing your customer experience, improve data analysis. So digitalization has a lot of benefits. But, of course, with it comes the risk of attacks. You're more attractive. Of course, the bad actors don't want to target a successful company. So, yes, you have digitalized, you have enhanced, you have increase your competitive advantage. You're now a better company. The threat actors, what they do now is coming to try and capitalize on that. So what do we need to do? Normal things, well, I don't mean to say normal, but things that you could do. Ensure security awareness, that you educate your staff. You conduct regular training and phishing simulation for your people. You should have incident response, to develop incident response plans, so you should be able to respond when an incident does happen. You should have continuous monitoring, ensure that the systems are regularly backed up, you're saving your information. You have risk practices that you do internally. And of course, adhering to where there's regulations like NDPR, GDPR, you're doing that, compliance with industry standard, ensuring that you're doing the backup and recovery as you should. So if we practice these things, that can help. Yeah.
All right, I want us to look at, how AI-driven systems and automated response mechanisms can actually be leveraged, because these things were mentioned at that particular conference that you were part of. So talk to us, how can we leverage these two?
Right, AI is the new buzz now. And of course, AI, if you could just imagine, is like what one person can do, the AI can do a lot more, a lot faster, with a lot less errors. So how do you look at this AI? It can help you with continuous monitoring. If a human being was monitoring, you could have fatigue. How many, logs do you want to review? But with AI, that continuous monitoring, you can analyze a lot more data faster. You can even, part of AI, the machine learning models, you can actually train it to recognize some kind of ransomware signatures and help so it learns how these things work and can be proactive, in mitigating it. It can also even analyze historical data that you have and help you to predict how the future patterns, so that you can avoid these attacks in future. So this AI can actually be used to make work a lot better, make your AI, your cybersecurity fight against cyber crimes a lot easier.
All right. I mean, there is this development that telecommunication companies are excited about, and that's the recent approval of the Designation and Protection of Critical National Information Infrastructure Order 2024. What key strategies and measures do you think stakeholders should prioritize in the implementation of this particular order, and what does it actually also mean for Nigeria's telecommunications sector?
Okay, so that is a great breakthrough, because now certain institutions are now, recognized and protected. So that's good for us because, ironically, CSCS is also one of this critical infrastructure that was identified. And so what it does is it could help us to more government involvement. And this can help us to work together with government to bring legislations like maybe minimum acceptable standards for encryption, for things that can generally mitigate against cyber attacks.
Right.
So it's an exciting time, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's close with this. I mean, it's a global trend. That's what we're talking about. And the 2024 Cybersecurity Ventures report states that cybercrime is projected to cost the global economy over $10.5 trillion this year. I mean, that's a staggering rise when you look at 3 trillion naira just a few years ago. And stakeholders actually have reportedly witnessed a 45% increase in ransomware attacks globally. What do you actually blame this proliferation on? Why are we having so much of it?
So it's the times where we are, when everything is digitalized right now. And every data is king now. Once you have data, of course, the threat actors are coming to get that data. So and the threat landscape is evolving. It's, as we too, as cyber experts, are trying to get ahead, so are the cyber criminals. They're not resting on their oars. They too are, forging ahead. And this helps us to, so we're both fighting for, well, we are coming from the good side and they are coming from the other side. This helps us to, everybody sits up. It gives awareness. It gives us, what do I call it? With this awareness on this matter, we'll be able to fight the criminals better.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Isioma Lawal, Head, Enterprise Risk Management and Resilience Services, CSCS. Thank you for your time and your thoughts on Business Edge today.
Thank you.